I'm pleased, however, to see that we are considering today the nomination for our next U.S. ambassador to Venezuela. As we heard at Tuesday's hearing on Venezuela, the situation in Venezuela requires our urgent attention. Despite the international community's unwavering support for interim President Juan Guaido, the Maduro regime seeks to hold yet another fraudulent election. A massive humanitarian crisis has displaced 5.2 million Venezuelan migrants and refugees. Armed groups, including Colombian guerrillas, paramilitaries, drug traffickers, and colectivos, operate across Venezuelan territory with impunity. And the governments of Cuba, Russia, China, and Iran have gone to significant lengths to prop up the Maduro regime and undermine American influence. Against this incredibly complex landscape, I look forward to hearing from today's nominee about what steps the United States needs to take to better achieve our shared bipartisan policy objectives. I'm also pleased to see that the administration has presented a new nominee for the Bahamas. Amidst the ongoing reconstruction related to the devastation from Hurricane Dorian last year, the U.S. must recommit to our bilateral partnership with the Bahamas, from deepening the ties between our people to strengthening our work on maritime and counter-narcotics issues to building on the economic links between our countries. I look forward to hearing how the U.S. can expand our cooperations with the Bahamas. Mr. Douglas, I understand you know the Bahamas well. And we look forward to your insights today. In many ways, Liberia is a success story after decades of brutal civil war. President George Weah was inaugurated in 2018, making the country's first transfer of power between elected heads of state since 1944. However, challenges remain. Liberia's economy has still not recovered from years of conflict. The devastating Ebola outbreak from 2014 to 2015 killed 5,000 people and plunged the country into recession. Now Liberia is confronted with the prospect of a COVID-19 epidemic. If confirmed, Mr. McCarthy, your voice will have significant influence due to the unique relationship between the United States and Liberia, and I hope to hear today how you plan to use that voice to speak out on the issues related to transparency, good governance, and respect for political freedoms. Ms. Higgins, the political situation in Burundi remains precarious. There have been allegations that this year's elections were marred by targeted attacks against opposition supporters, restrictions on freedom of speech and expression, hate speech, and widespread irregularities in the voting process. More than 300,000 refugees remain abroad due to fears of violence, and ethnic tensions remain high. The impact that COVID-19 is having on Burundi is unclear, but Burundi's weak health system, coupled with the government's failure to impose a lockdown of any sort, is cause for alarm. Ms. Maloney, if confirmed, Ms. Higgins, if confirmed, you will serve in a country where civil and political freedoms are harshly circumscribed, press freedoms are severely restricted, where corruption and gender-based violence is rampant, and with the highest HIV/AIDS rate in the world. So I look forward to hearing from you as to how, both of you actually, as to how you plan to meet the serious challenges ahead. And finally, I also look forward to hearing from Mrs. Singh about what she hopes to accomplish at the OECD, which has historically been an important tool for U.S. diplomacy and collaboration on global economic policy. At a time of growing nationalist sentiment, we must nevertheless retain our leadership of international financial institutions and not cede them to China or Russia. We must work with our allies to create a stronger, more inclusive global economy that benefits everyone. And we must reinvigorate the instruments of economic diplomacy at home so that the Departments of State, Commerce, Treasury, and USTR work in tandem to promote U.S. businesses and economic ideals across the globe. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.